Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Ammar, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, we are absolutely thrilled to have Dr. Keith Murvin, CEO of Bright Future Group, a consultancy dedicated to empowering frontline managers with confidence, resilience, and high impact leadership. Dr. Keith's journey, spanning the military, HR leadership, academia, and now as an author and strategist, brings unique insights at the intersection of leadership effectiveness and operational well being. Welcome to Founders Future, my friend.
Thank you, sir, and thank you for having me.
I'm excited to dive in. I always like to start from the beginning. So, can you take us on a little bit of a journey to before you started Bright Future Group? What were you doing before that? And then what was really the motivation behind starting the company?
Yes, I am a HR professional by trade, so I serve as a senior HR professional in charge of total rewards in the total reward space, talent management, leadership and organizational development, employee relations, and workforce development, also compliance. So that was my job before I started Bright Future Group, and that's the work that I am currently doing. I'm also an adjunct professor at the local universities here in the area.
Okay, very cool. I love that. So, what made you decide to start the company Bright Future Group?
Yeah. So the core problem, really, when we think about Bright Future Group and the work that I do, is frontline managers are not supported, or they're under supported and they're unprepared, but they have the accountability for team results, engagement, and compliance. And many frontline managers are promoted based on technical skills and not leadership skills. And so this leads to burnout, disengaged teams, and high turnover. And also in parallel organizations, they struggle to translate HR policies into operational practice. Focusing on frontline managers and not just the executives is really critical. And I've seen that in my years as a frontline manager, as well as advising and supervising frontline managers.
Okay, very cool. So, walk us through today with Bright Future Group to give the listeners more context into your business and what you really focus on. Who is your ideal client? Who do you love to work with? And then what are the different offers and services that you provide?
Yeah. Initially, I offered just general HR consulting, but the strongest demand and the greatest impact really came from training and supporting frontline managers. That led me to develop my book, Balance and Engage, a frontline manager's playbook, as well as a self-paced training, which is the effectiveness blueprint. So instead of just relying on the one-on-one consulting, yeah, I created some resources for professionals to be able to use. And then I also chose the effectiveness strategist as a branding tool. Part of it is to be able to reflect the core of what I do, which is helping people and organizations operate more efficiently. I'm sorry, more effectively. It's not just about leadership, it's about outcomes, balance, and sustainable performance.
Got it. Very cool. So it sounds like your main ideal client is frontline managers, or is there anything else that you would add to that?
Yeah, so the main client is frontline managers or frontline management. So, really focusing on those leaders who are engaged in the business, the primary business of leading people responsible for the outcomes, the culture of the organization by working through those people.
Got it. Are there specific industries that you focus on as opposed to others, or not really?
Yeah, there are, but anywhere there are frontline managers, and when I say frontline managers, that's a manager who is directly supervising the people who are actually doing the work for the company. But we focus on healthcare, government, logistics. You find a lot of frontline managers who are not well supported, who might need more support versus in some of the other industries.
Okay, very cool. So let's say you have a couple of frontline managers in front of you and they're interested and they're like, okay, Keith, what does it actually look like for us to work together? What does a typical client engagement look like? So walk me through that client journey. Somebody signs up with you today. How long are you working together? And then what does that process look like from start to finish?
Yeah. So basically we have two groups. Like we would have an individual frontline manager, which is basically our business to customer model. And in that situation, they can reach us usually by our website. And it's self-service, so they can go out, they can read about our training and our webinars and all of our offerings, and then actually sign up. And once they do that, if they have any questions or if they want to talk, they obviously can reach out and I would respond to them. But it's pretty much a self-service, and then we support them through the process. So if they enroll in the online training, you have a whole year to complete it, and so we will support them through that process. For our business to business customers, which are our larger clients, we would actually have a consultation. We sit down with them, we talk about, because basically what we're going to do is we're going to scale the self-paced training because there may be multiple, usually there's multiple subscribers or multiple groups. So we would talk about that. We would talk about the timing and some of the particulars that they might need as we scale that program for them. And then we would be with them as well. So if they have any technical issues, or we also do follow up, and we'll do follow up with our individual frontline managers as well, because that's part of the way that we ensure that our product is addressing what we believe is the need, and then that feedback, we use that to actually improve the training.
Interesting. Is it all self-paced training, or is there like one-on-one coaching, group coaching where you guys meet, whether it's in person, via Zoom, anything like that?
Yeah, so you do have the option for one-on-one coaching, and that's, again, you can access it through our website. But the online training is self-paced. You get into the module, there's 8 modules, and you can complete them at your own pace. You don't have to start in any particular order. However, you do have to, there's a test or a quiz at the end of each module, so that you have to complete at least 80% before you can go on to the next one. And the unique thing about our training is that we offer over 100 tools and tips that will actually continue given even long after the training is gone. And so that really is the key and sets us apart when it comes to other training that people may attend, because you get the training, but then when you leave, what tools and tips do you have to really help you to be effective in your job?
Got it. Okay, so you've got the B2C side, and then you've also got the B2B side, and then you've also got the one-on-one coaching as well. And all of this is self-service in the sense that people can just purchase this from your website. Is that?
Yes,
Yep.
absolutely.
Got it. What I typically find when a consultant has many offerings, one of them is responsible for 80% of the revenue. So for you, which one would that be that's responsible for the bulk of the revenue?
Yeah. So the one that is responsible for the bulk of the revenue is the frontline managers training. And we did that on
That's
purpose.
the B2C side?
Yeah, that's so it's no, it's the B2B side. Yeah, because basically what we would be doing on the B2B side is that we would be selling multiple subscriptions. That's really where I guess what the revenue or whatever comes in, because a company may have several hundred, in some cases, frontline managers that they want to roll the training out to.
Yeah.
Versus an individual person who is seeking professional development. Maybe they are looking to be promoted in some time frame, or they are trying to increase their skills in order to be able to be effective in a frontline manager's job, that maybe they don't have the support from their company, but they realize individually that's something that they need. Yeah.
Got it. Very cool. Can you walk us through the pricing of the different various aspects
Yeah.
and the one-on-one coaching as well?
Yeah. So basically the frontline managers training, the package is $299. And again, that's an individual subscription, and you can complete it at your own pace. And like I said, we provide a support 8 modules. For like a business, we would give you a discount, and usually the discount is about 20% on the subscription price for multiple subscribers. And then if you purchase it like as an LMS equivalent or supplement, then you would get an even bigger discount. And then that would be basically like a flat rate. Again, all of those specific prices are going to be contingent upon what the company actually is asking.
Yeah.
Because the other thing that we can do too is we can modify, like some companies may not want the full flavor of all of the modules, or maybe they want to focus on
Yeah.
or have some kind of a one-on-one follow-up after that. When it comes to the one-on-one coaching, again, we do one-on-one coaching for individuals, and then we also do it for companies. In the individual space, we're talking about, first of all, we will offer them some free, like a 15-minute consultation that might be free just to put them in the right direction for an individual. For a company, it really is going to depend on what they actually need and how much time that we spend with them. So it's going to be different for each company. And that's what we work through, because our goal is to make sure that we are understanding what it is that the company needs, making sure that we are aligning our resources with their strategic plans and outcomes so that we can get the outcomes that they need. And like pricing will depend on that.
Yeah, very interesting. I'm curious what you think of this. Are you more focused on scaling the consulting side of things in terms of the coaching because that's higher ticket? I don't know if you do any high ticket right now, but obviously I've talked to many consultants and we've worked with thousands of them. And we typically recommend they do the high ticket model because it's just more revenue and you can serve your clients at a higher level. So I'm curious if that's something that you have in the process that you were thinking about. What is your perspective on that?
Yeah, no, I do agree with that. And we are obviously focused on that. I think for us, we are really trying to build like our client base. So we want to have obviously more, it will be more beneficial to have those higher budget companies versus the individual frontline managers who might be doing it just from their own individual perspective. So
Yeah.
I think that we definitely are trying that, but that's part of the work that we're doing in the marketing side, really establishing our brand and really trying to break through the noise where you find those larger consulting firms that have all of they have the training in place and they have the tools and that kind of thing to offer. And that's not really our niche. We are more focused on those companies who may have a small or no HR department, but they do need the kind of support that we provide.
Interesting. So walk me through your marketing, walk me through your lead generation process. When you want to build your customer base, when you want to attract more customers, what does that process look like?
Yeah. So we are primarily focused on direct marketing. So we've done some research and we know that there are certain companies based on the size of their employees, based on the number of supervisors that they have, different levels, as well as their revenue. And so we have, pinpointed them using the SIC and the NAICS number codes to be able to draw them out, because not every company that we come across is going to fit like our model. And so we are fastly and diligently direct marketing to those companies to get our.
That's direct mail.
Yeah, direct mail. Yeah. We're doing it through direct mail. We also are doing it through social media using LinkedIn and X as well. But really trying to get our products and services in front of them because they are going to be more inclined or they'll fit better with our profile versus some of the larger organizations who might already have different support systems when it comes to the LMS training. The other thing that we're doing too is that we're reaching out to some of the LMS sites that actually host training sites to actually have our training featured.
Got it. How do you handle unpredictability and inconsistency when it comes to lead flow with these types of methods?
Yeah, where I am now, unfortunately or unfortunately, I don't know how, depending on how you look at it, is really just learning the flow of things and really, like I was saying, our business niche and who those companies are, what those companies are actually involved in, because you have to know a little bit about them in terms of what the challenges are when it comes to HR, where their leaders are, how efficiently trained or not they are, what their pain points are. So learning that is also a part of being able to market. So it's not just as simple as identifying the company and then sending them some information. It's really trying to understand their profile and build a relationship with.
I see. I'm super curious. What do you feel like right now is the biggest challenge you're facing to scaling this up even further?
Yeah. So I think that brand visibility, trust, and scale, we have a good product and people are engaging with us, but they still need a little bit more convincing. We have to provide some testimonies. We are also collecting feedback from the people that the subscribers that we actually have using our tool, reading our book, and using that to create that comfort level or that sort of familiarity with our brand so that people will part. We know it's a good offering, but it's just a matter of trying to get it out there and break through all of the noise and the competition that's out there.
Yeah. What's your goal over the next 12 months? What are you looking to accomplish from a revenue standpoint, performance standpoint? What does that look like?
So we have identified what we call like 10,000. So we want to try to sell 10,000 subscriptions to our frontline training, having over the year, having 10,000 people utilizing the training. And that could be any number of companies when you think about it, especially considering that they would be purchasing multiple subscriptions. Also, 10,000 copies of the Balance and Engage, so really trying to market that. Now, the other thing that will happen when you purchase the online training, you'll get a copy of the book because they actually are based on the same research. And then also really trying to have at least about 2,080 hours in client hours where we're actually working with clients and coaching them on their frontline managers in their frontline management process.
Got it. Very cool. If you could, let me ask you this. If you're talking to new entrepreneurs starting in 2025, and you could give them a piece of advice that you wish you knew when you were starting off, what would that be?
Yeah. So that's a really good question. And I believe that you have to identify what it is that you do and what you would be willing to, that you enjoy doing. And then what you would be willing to do because you enjoy it so much, if you could, for free, right? And then once you figure that out, you really do have to figure out what is the value proposition for your customers and clients, and then being able to proceed from there. But I think that's really critical. I didn't do that at first. And so I had to spend some time working with a marketing coach. And that's the question that she asked me. Like, what would you do, and what is something that you would do for free? And HR, human resource work, that's the work that I've been doing, for my professional career. But I also, because I believe in the work and I also believe that it's important to be done. And if I could do it for free, I would, but obviously I can't.
Yeah, fair enough. Keith, what's the best way for people to reach you?
So the best way to reach me is at my website, which is www.brightfuturegroup.net, or you can reach me on LinkedIn.
Awesome. I appreciate your time today, and I'm excited to see where you take this.
Thank you so much for having me. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well.
Yeah, there you go. So that wraps up another insightful episode of Founders Future. To our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And if you're a business owner and you're looking to really scale your business, enhance your sales and marketing efforts, visit closers.io to discover how we can support your growth journey. Until then, keep on climbing.